been stealth camping here in an industrial area in Santa Anita, waiting for the road to open so I can go hiking. It really worked out very well. Slept very well. Got a great mattress here in the back. And looking forward to the hike. I'm going to go try to find a bathroom here and head up to the gate and wait for it to open. coming to you from the Gabrielino Trail. I'm in the waterfall zone above LA. All around LA there's tons of waterfalls and absolutely beautiful forests. Most people have no idea that outside of this sort of gritty city that there's this place with just amazing beauty. I put in about just a little under 10 miles today. It's actually a 4-mile trail up here to Spruce Grove from the parking lot, the trailhead. And the trailhead is called Chantry Flat. There's actually a bunch of mules there and a place you can get lunch and all that kind of thing. And yeah, the mules pack stuff in because there's no roads up here at all. There's some camps. There's, I think, about 80 cabins that are Forest Service lease cabins, if you've ever seen those before. They've been around here for like 100 years. And there's a Methodist camp up the road, and that's been there since 1897. It's just went around there. It's like a ghost town during the week, but I guess during the weekends, a lot of people come through there. So I'm at the Spruce Grove Campground, which is free, and you can stay for up to 14 days. There's a beautiful stream running by, and waterfall after waterfall after waterfall. The Methodist camp is called Sturtevant, and also the waterfall, Sturtevant Waterfall. And I guess you have to get up to Chantry Flat before 7 if you at all possibly can. The gates open at 6 to drive up the mountain road. And if you don't get there by 7, I guess the parking lot fills up pretty fast, especially on weekends. So you really have to hit it early to get up there because everybody's hiking to the waterfalls. That was a short hike, and I kind of went in there and went around and went to the top of the falls, went to the bottom of the falls, all that kind of stuff, and eventually ended up here. Took some side trips to a whole bunch of different places, so just really enjoying. Although I put in almost 10 miles, I also lay around a lot today in my tent. As you can tell, there's a lot of bugs here. And I've had to put a net on. This net thing here is kind of cool. And it works great, actually. It keeps the bugs away from your face, which is excellent. And I'm just gonna leave it on for the rest of the time here that I'm doing this. Yeah, it's buggy, but not the end of the world. The bugs were here before we were, so just gotta adapt. But the trail is uphill. I think it's about 1,800 feet of vertical gain over the time from Chantry Flat up here to Spruce Grove. There's a long downhill after the trailhead and then a long uphill. And you go by lots and lots and lots of concrete dams that were put here to stop flooding, all of which have turned into a waterfall. So it's really spectacular. The sound of water all along the trail. Lots of flowers out. I'm really not much of a flower guy, but the flowers are out in all their color. And I'm just really enjoying taking pictures of those, so I'll be showing you some of those actually too. The camp is just real interesting up there. It's deserted during the week, of course, but it's interesting to see how Methodism, which used to have a huge outdoor ministry component, along with all the other holiness traditions. People used to go to camp meetings there at those things, and a lot of the revivals took place outdoors, and just a big part of American history in the Second Great Awakening. So anyways, I'm gonna probably make some supper here and go to bed early, get up in the morning, and head downhill, head down to Chantry Flat where my VW bus is parked, and head back to Orange County. But I love LA County. The mountains outside of LA County uphill are absolutely spectacular. There's countless waterfalls that you can take trails to, and oh my goodness, just this morning seeing the falls there was just quite a sight. So anyways, I will check in again tomorrow and do a little bit more filming, take you guys along. super important as you get older to keep your world large. You don't have to go hiking and camping and all that kind of stuff like we do. But in whatever way you can, keep your world large. Don't let it get small. Don't let it turn into the recliner in front of a big screen TV with a bunch of pill bottles next to you. Make sure you keep getting out there and doing life and experiencing God's creation. There is no substitute for real reality. I don't care how real virtual reality tends to be. It's still just a flat little screen, and it's nothing compared to what I've seen today. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the trails themselves. The Gabrielino Trail, which is broken up in a few places where you can't get through. It's like 29 miles long, something like that. But the first part is the best part. That's the waterfall region above LA. It's absolutely beautiful. And there's an upper trail and a lower trail. The upper trail is the one that the pack mules take. It's a lot easier, a lot wider, a lot less sketchy. The lower one is, if you're afraid of heights, you may not want to do that, but it's absolutely stunning. It's the one that goes along the water. And so you're not going to want to miss that if you're into scenery. If you're into just knocking out miles, go for the upper trail. Now, there's a certain junction where you go off to the actual waterfalls, the big waterfalls. And that's just a little half-mile trail that goes off and comes back again. So there's no way to take that trail and then rejoin the lower trail. You have to go back to the junction. Now there's a junction where all three trails split. One goes to the falls, that's straight to the right, goes through a little village. The lower trail goes to the very top of the falls, and the pack mule trail off to the left is the easiest and fastest trail. So you have three choices there. If you take the upper trail, you're going to get there a lot faster and it's going to be a lot easier. If you take the lower trail, you're going to go across the top of the falls and you're going to see lots of beautiful things. And if you take the waterfall trail, that's a little half-mile spur trail, and you got to go back to the junction again to get back on one of the other two trails. That's something I didn't understand when I first got here, so I took the lower trail to the top of the falls, then kind of scrambled down to the falls, which is not safe. I wouldn't recommend that, but I was halfway through before I realized it. And I would recommend going back to the junction, walking up the falls, going back to the junction, and then taking whichever trail you want. So I hope that's helpful. If not, I hope do the best you can. Coming to you from the Cascade picnic area. What a spot. There's a beautiful picnic table here and nice and shady no matter what kind of summer sunshine you're dealing with. Although the route is probably 2/3 shade, maybe 3/4 shade, 1/4 exposed, mostly because it follows the creek, and following the creek, of course, there's a lot of growth there, so it's absolutely beautiful. It is so peaceful here. The birds are singing, and right now, as I'm speaking, there's a curfew in Los Angeles because of rioting. You really don't have to live in that world. You can live in this one, and there's really nothing you can do about the other one sometimes anyways. You got to find peaceful places and find peace within yourself and get out into God's creation and enjoy the best of what He's given us. There's so much joy in just being out here in the fresh air. Well, here I am at the Falling Sign Junction, and this time I'm going to take the upper route back. That's the pack mule route, and I took the lower route up. So I'm going downhill on the upper, uphill on the downer, if that makes any sense. And yeah, hope to be back at the Volkswagen, maybe mid-morning.